Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we've got So You Want to Play Vietnamese, a save you guys voted for last week. It was tied with Frank's about, so I did Frank's last week and Vietnamese this week. And I actually sent out a poll as well on YouTube asking if you guys wanted to see recorded game commentary or live game commentary for the series. An overwhelming amount of people voted for the recorded game commentary. So I'm going to actually continue with that. And I really appreciate the feedback because I do these videos so you guys can benefit, and as long as I'm doing them in the best way possible for you guys to benefit the most, I feel like we're doing a good thing here on the YouTube. So awesome stuff there. Thanks for everyone who participated in those polls. And yeah, without further ado, let's hop into the video and take a look at Vietnamese. So if you guys aren't familiar with the series, it's basically just taking a look at Vietnamese in a practical and theoretical sense. We're going to start with the theoretical sense though by taking a look at the tech tree real quick. And we've got a better overlay for this so you guys can see more of the screen. So yeah, Vietnamese in theory. They're described as an archer civilization, and their bonuses are as follows. Enemy positions are revealed at the start of the game. This happens in both 1v1 and team game. And in 1v1, you see your opponent's town center. In team game, you see every single one of your opponent's town centers. You can help out your team members by telling them who they're against and where the enemy town centers are. It's actually a very practical bonus. It doesn't give you a better economy, but it gives you a really smooth start because you can basically never not find your opponent. And you can never really lose your scout to the TC unless you're really stupid. But you know, it happens. It happened to me before once, but I'm stupid. That's no surprise. Anyway, but yeah, in theory, you should never lose your scout to the town center, and you should never not be able to find your opponent. Great bonus here, especially for 1v1 where rushes are so important. The second bonus, and this is a bit of a newer one, it's about a few months ago that was patched in. Economic upgrades cost no wood. This is actually a very strong eco upgrade, or eco bonus I should say, simply because it helps you at all stages of the game. As soon as you hit Feudal Age, you have to get double bid-axe and horse collar, generally speaking, and you save 125 wood if you get those upgrades with Vietnamese. So 50 on the double bid-axe and 75 on the horse collar. So 125 wood to save at the start of Feudal Age? Just by doing the standard stuff, that is massive. That's a really good bonus. And it doesn't stop there. You get wheelbarrow, which is 50 wood saved in late feudal age or mid feudal age. And then in castle age, you save 200 wood on handcart, 100 wood on bow saw, and 125 wood on heavy plow. Do I need to, talk about why this bonus is really good? And if you think about it, wood is the most important early game resource, or one of the two, food and wood. So saving wood is like just the best thing that a civ can ask for, and this bonus does that beautifully for Vietnamese. Archery range units plus 20% HP. That's another bonus that's actually quite nice. So HP for archer units isn't the most important statistic. Better is range and better is damage output. But the HP is not bad because it lets you tank more hits, and especially in archer versus archer combat, having that extra like 6 HP that you get from the 20% extra HP on archers, for example, that actually might like allow you to easily win those fights. And this is this actually goes for skirmishers as well, so, and cav archers, but rarely go cav archers with Vietnamese. But it's still an option if you want to go for it. It's not the worst thing in the world actually. But yeah, getting the extra 20% HP is actually quite strong for the skirmisher line as well. Well, that's nice because they have the Imperial Skirmisher, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And then the final bonus is that they get conscription for free. That's actually very good, especially for Treb wars. If you have a Treb war in early Imp, it really matters who gets the Trebs out faster, and conscription lets you get them out like 33% faster. So getting free conscription just allows you to win, Treb wars quite consistently. And it's also really good to turbo into your light cav transition as well. Like you'll start off with like some archers and castle age, for example, and then you switch to light cav and Imp to kind of complement those guys. And conscription lets you pump out those units much faster, so you can basically turbo into your late game composition with the free conscription, and that's like super powerful bonus. The unique unit is the Rattan Archer. We'll talk about that guy a little bit later. Unique tech, Chatra's Battle Elephant plus 50 HP. That tech sucks. Battle Elephants don't need more HP. They already have like 300 or something plus HP when they get the elite upgrade. You don't care about extra HP on the elephants. Much rather other stats like fast moving of Khmer or extra pierce armor of Burmese. So Chatra's does nothing. Like, it's not a good tech. I'd still pick it up if you're going elephants, but it's not something that's going to make or break the scenario. Paper money, each team member receives 500 gold. It's okay. It's okay. In team games, it's really good. In 1v1, it's pretty like whatever. Like it's not anything crazy. And team bonus, Imperial Skirmisher upgrade available in Imperial Age for all members of the team. And of course for you in 1v1. Really strong bonus in 1v1s. Not the best in team games, but it could come up. So anyway, that was the technology tree, or sorry, that was the bonuses. Let's take a look at the technology tree, starting off with the archery range here. So you get a full upgraded archery range except hand cannon and Parthian tactics. But as far as elite skirmisher goes, you even have Imperial skirmisher, which has, what's the stats difference here? You have an extra pierce armor, and you have an extra damage output. Yeah, an extra pierce armor and extra damage output, and no extra HP, but that's okay. So that's actually a very strong bonus for the Imperial skirmisher there. And the upgrade only costs 300 wood and 450 gold, so it's definitely worth it to pick it up in the 1v1s. And Imperial Skirmisher is really good because it actually does 2 damage to a fully upgraded Hussar instead of the 1 damage Elite Skirmishers. So that's a pretty big bonus. It makes them pretty strong versus cavalry still. So again, Archer Line, your main unit as Vietnamese. Their barracks is actually very good. You don't get fully upgraded infantry because you're missing blacksmith techs, but you get fully upgraded infantry at the barracks with champion and halberdier with squires and supplies. Very strong. Their stable is actually pretty mediocre. You have light cav, cavalier, and battle elephants elite, and you have husbandry and I believe bloodlines. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, you're missing paladin, you're missing hussar, and you're missing camels and steppe lancers, obviously. But you still have fully upgraded light cav in terms of the stable, so that's not really bad for late game. And the cavalier could be a good option. Elephants, of course, being one of their powerhouse options late game as well. Siege is nothing to brag about, but you do have the bombard cannon, which is the main thing you want to go for. Onagers could be useful to take out some mass archers and skirms. Blacksmith fully upgraded except blast furnace, which is actually not the most important upgrade for Vietnamese, because again, once you have the arbalest or the elite skirmisher fully upgraded, you usually just complement that with light cav, and you don't care for the light cav to have extra attack. You really care to have the extra armor on the light cav. So this doesn't really hurt them that much, and they even get the last armor on the infantry. So Halb and light cav are really good as late game options. Their ships are okay, nothing to brag about, but they have galleon. They have Hemi Demo and Elite Cannon Galleon. They're missing shipwright though, so they're not the best on water, but they're not terrible either. And on University, the most important thing is Siege Engineers, which they have. They even have Bomber Tower, which is interesting. And the biggest thing to talk about is that they're missing architecture, so camping with Vietnamese, not the best. But in the castle, you have Hoardings and, yeah, the Rattan Archer. So, Rattan Archer is actually an anti-archer archer. You heard that right. It's an anti-archer archer. So basically 50 wood and 45 gold for each, so they're quite expensive, but they have 6 attack, which is important, and 4 base pierce armor. That means in Castle Age it has the same pierce armor as a skirmisher. That is actually massive. And it moves faster than a crossbow and a skirmisher, so it moves slightly faster. So it's actually really good at chasing down archers, and this unit alone gives you good matchups against stuff like, I don't know, Britons, where you can go skirmishers, or if you want a unique unit to counter them, you can go for your Rattan Archer to counter like hardcore archer civs. So Rattan Archer is a very good unit to go for. It's even better in the late game though, because it does get the attack boost when you go for the elite Rattan Archer, and it gets that range increase. So it's only 4 range in Castle, but it's 5 range in Imperial Age, which matches that of the Skirm and the Arbalest. So elite Rattan Archer is actually really good, whereas the Rattan Archer, it's okay in Castle Age, but it's not the best because it's quite expensive actually. So it's not that good to go into right away, but in Imperial Age, when you have like 4 castles set up, it's really good to go for Rattan Archers. Text, we talked about them. Monastery, nothing to brag about, but they do have block printing and sanctity, so converting in the backline in the Imperial Age is quite good. They also have Heresy, which is somewhere here. No, they don't have Heresy. I lied. They have Faith if you want to defend your elephants versus monks, but that's not really going to come up too much. Let's be honest. And their eco, well, it's not bad. They have Corporation, 2-man saw, and guilds. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Very nice here. So that was the theoretical stats on Vietnamese in terms of tech tree and bonuses. In general, let's just sum up here. They are an archer civ that specializes in anti-archer options with the Imperial Skirmisher and the Rattan Archer. They have a great eco bonus, which gives them a lot of flexibility. And they also have different options that they can go for in the mid and late game, like scouts with bloodlines, light cav with bloodlines, and fully upgraded except blast furnace. Same thing with halbs and champions. So they're actually quite versatile. Bomber cannon or treb is your main siege options, and you do get siege engineers for those long-range treb battles. So all in all, I think that Vietnamese are very well-rounded, and they specialize in archer units in general, and especially at countering other archer civs. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the game I played against actually Chris, which is quite a big legend of the game here. So let's go ahead, and I think it's load game. Yeah, there it is. So let's get back into the scene here. Actually, no, we can stay in this scene. Yeah, we can stay in this scene for a second here. Okay, while that's loading, let's go ahead and talk about the sponsor of this video. There is the game. So I have some really good news for the sponsor of this video. It's once again G Fuel, but this time I've got 30% off using code Hera at their shop. So it's limited time. It was 10% before. I managed to get it 30% off for you guys. And I actually have another recommendation of a product that I would want you guys to try out. So if you go to their website here, they have a lot of options in terms of like the best sellers that you can look through. But a lot of these have like caffeine in them and a lot of energy that might be good for certain lifestyles. Personally, they're not for me, so I haven't tried them. But if you guys want to take a look, these are their best sellers, so give them a go. But the one I'd recommend, you have to go to the search option, type in hydration quickly, and you get this tab. And the one I'd recommend is this brand, or this version, not this brand, but this version. It's the hydration line. Basically, it's 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 caffeine, and it's an electrolyte based drink. The flavor that's actually the best is the dragon fruit. For me personally, like, this is really, really good. So if you guys want to give it a try, I highly recommend this version, the hydration dragon fruit. I've been drinking it. I just tried it. They sent me all 4 flavors. I tried this the last, and it was the best one. So I felt kind of scammed because I tried it last. But it's still the best one, and I highly recommend you guys give it a go. The flavor is super, super tasty. And again, it's probably the healthiest kind of energy drink you're going to find on the market. So definitely give it a go if this is interesting for you guys at all. And the second flavor I recommend is probably strawberry lemonade. So again, 30% off using code Hera. I'll leave the link to the website in the description below. If you guys buy their product, it supports me directly and it supports the scene directly, as this is a sponsor from Tempo Storm, or one of the sponsors of Tempo Storm, and they could potentially pitch in tournaments and show matches as the year goes on if the sales are high. So definitely take a look if this is interesting for you. Once again, link in the description, code Hera, 30% off. And without further ado, let's hop into this replay here and take a look at what me and Chris came up with here with this Vietnamese versus Mongols. And I'm going to hydrate here real quick as well. G Fuel's got me a little bit thirsty. All right. I wish I can edit these parts out, but for now we gotta just deal with me drinking water during the videos. So let's take a look at this game here. I'm out of breath, man. I've been talking too much. All right, let's take a look at this game here. Myself versus Chris, and we actually chat a little bit because we have a tournament to play very soon. So I was actually very pleasantly surprised to see Chris playing, practicing like I was in the morning here as well. So let's take a look here. Vietnamese for me, I'm playing in the blue here. I'm gonna just minimize my OBS. And then we got Chris, my opponent here, playing in red as the Mongols. And this is actually a very favorable matchup for Vietnamese, and I'll explain why in a second. So let's go ahead and fast forward to the Dark Age, because nothing much really happens. We'll play on 75 speed. And I even tell him this game is for a video. So yeah, here we are, guys. We're actually doing a video. Awesome stuff. Wow, so cool. But anyway, so I'm just gonna be scouting as normal. I pick up my my sheep, and the one cool thing about Vietnamese that I talked about in the theory is that I see where my opponent's town center is, so I don't actually have to rush to scout. And you can even see him lure deer, by the way. It's another cool thing that you can take a look at. So you can see if he's going to be scouting you fast or not, if you are paying attention to that. But so I already know where my opponent is, so I'm just going to lure deer myself, right? I don't need to rush to scout. I can lure in a couple deers, take my time, because then I can instantly go directly to him to scout. So that's one of the reasons why I'm luring deer, even though normally I would prioritize scouting information. Now, the one thing I have to consider here is the matchup. I talked about how flexible Vietnamese are, and I honestly stand by it. They can do anything in the early game. Drush, they can do Drush Fast Castle, Meta Arms, Scout opening, Scouts into Archer opening, Scouts into Knights if needed. They're so flexible at pretty much everything, but I do know that their best option is the range. So whatever I want to do, I want to end up playing range units because I want to make use of that extra 20% HP. So against Mongols, I think I know they have a very strong opening with their faster hunt, and I'm assuming he's gonna go scouts. But the assumptions can be really dangerous. So I'm gonna also make sure to scout my opponent, and that's why I'm sending my scout here after after taking 2 deer, or actually 3 deer to my town center. So my economy is already really good, and well, he's actually going for a drush, so he's not going for the standard option here for the Mongols, which is scouts. He's going for a drush. And did he take 10 gold? I didn't see. He took 10 gold here. I didn't actually click this in game, so I didn't know about that. But there's one thing I did find out, and you'll see in a second. I scout the barracks rather early, so I do end up realizing that a drush is coming, but it might be a little too late. I'm going to go 20 pop scouts. And the reason I'm going for this once again is because I want to match the aggressive start from Mongols as best as I can. And so therefore I'm going to go 20 pop scouts, which is probably one of the most aggressive builders you can go for in this day and age. Also, my map isn't great. Like, I can't full wall because I've got a forward gold, I've got 2 stones on the front, and my berries are not the most safe ever. And my woodline options are quite thin as well. So fully walling is not really an option. I'm going to have to play quite open. At this point, I do scout the barracks, by the way, so I instantly send my scout back, and my reaction time, I got lucky, I'm not going to lie. My reaction time is quite nice there. Well played, Hera. Oh, thank you, bro. Really appreciate it. Pat on the back there. But yeah, just quickly wall up there. I honestly got really lucky. If I did get hit, though, it's not the end of the world. I just run a couple villas back. I'll save these 3. I probably won't lose a villager. I just have to run these 2 off wood. So it's not like it was a huge play or anything, but it's definitely more convenient to not run villagers back from the wood line. But anyway, I run my scout back just to defend a little bit. And now I realize I actually don't need it here. So generally, actually, I should pause here because this is a really important talking point. Generally, when your opponent rushes you and you fully walled your resources, and here I have the berries walled as well, generally, you don't want to waste time with your scouts to clean up the militia because these units are very useless at the moment. They're not going to hit anything. So the best thing to do is actually to counterattack with my scouts right away. See if I can pick off a villager or at least force a lot of spears from him in the early game. So that's my plan here. I don't want to waste time on militia. I want to counterattack. So I immediately send my scout back now that everything's safe at home. So again, you can argue that I've wasted a lot of time going back and then going back to my base and then going right back out to scout him again. You might be right, honestly. Like, it was a little bit of wasted time, but at least I felt a little safe this way. And now scout rush is happening. And look at this. I'm low on wood, but it doesn't matter because my eco upgrades don't cost wood. Vietnamese, super smooth. If you guys like good economy civs, I highly recommend you try these guys out. Really strong civ, and I'm going right out with my scout here, and yeah, I mean, I see a lot of openings, right? There's like the mill and the wood line here that can hit, but unfortunately, well, fortunately for him, he's got a Mongol start, right? He got the extra hunt. He's able to reach Feudal Age at 10 minutes and 15 seconds, 10 minutes 10 seconds, which is a standard 22 pop uptime. So he's able to do a drush and hit at like a reasonable time here in Feudal Age. At least now I know he's not doing fast castle. But he's going to be able to defend himself with some spears. So, well, that's still fine for me, right? I forced out spears. We talked about spears a lot on this channel. Spears are probably the worst unit in Feudal Age to have because they don't hit villagers properly and they only counter scouts. They don't do anything else against ranged units or men-at-arms or anything like that. So spears is probably the worst unit to have in the Feudal Age, generally speaking. So I want to force him to make as many spears as possible. And I'll be happy with that. And again, I'm ignoring the drush completely here. I hit a scout a little bit, traded some HP, but the drush I'm not interested in fighting. And I'm going to delay fighting that as much as possible because once again, it's completely useless. Chris does a really nice job defending here. I have to say, credit where credit's due, right? And he walls up the wood line. He gets a couple spears positioned beautifully. A lot of people mess up with their spear positioning. Like, he won't like chase my scouts and follow them, but he does it beautifully. Like, he puts 2 spears here, a spear on the gold. He doesn't really mess up in where his spears are. And don't get me wrong, I'm still going to try and look around here for some damage. You guys know I like to micro my scouts. Like, I never leave my basement, and it's my part-time job, which it kind of is, and that's kind of true as well. So that's pretty sad. But anyway, moving on, going to micro around. He gets a hit on there. So that's not ideal. And I'm going to try to get a villager here, but again, he runs it back beautifully. He's got the spear there. I really don't have an entrance. However, he's made 4 spears now, and I've made what? I had my original scout, I made like 4 scouts. So I'm very happy with this trade. 4 scouts to take map control, and I forced my opponent to make 4 spearmen. That's pretty good. Now, in reaction to a lot of spearmen, I go for a range. Now, I'm doing this for 2 reasons. Let's go to my perspective here. I'm doing this range for 2 reasons. Or 3 reasons, actually. Let's pause, actually. So, first reason, I see he's got a range. So, I know he's going to do range units. Second reason, I see he's got spearmen, and that is counted by range. And the third reason is that I'm Vietnamese, and I want to be doing archer or skirmishers in the mid-game anyway. So, 3 reasons to make a range here. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And he actually did a really cool play. I'm sad I missed it. He waited till I over-chopped the berries or over-forged the berries, and then he ran in with his militia. So I was actually forced to fight this. Beautiful play from Chris. Lands himself a really good trade at the scouts. I wasn't happy about this. I was trying to ignore the militia. He got value out of them. So he takes away 2 of my scouts. I'm going to run away. I didn't lose a single vill there, but that was a good play from him. He forced me to trade versus the militia, and that's always a bad thing for me. But anyway, now I'm gonna go to gold. I'm taking a lot of, I'm making a lot of skirmishers now, and I'm still making a few scouts. And the reason I'm making scouts is because I'm not fully walled at all. I'm not even close to fully walled. In fact, I'm fully open. So I need to get some defensive options. First one I get is Town Watch. And look at this upgrade. It's so underrated. I see everything now. I mean, I'm not fully walled, but I'm super safe because of Town Watch. And I'm even getting some house out here for vision, house out here for vision, just to make myself feel extra safe at home. I'm gonna get a couple scouts out to defend myself because, again, if he rushes me hard on this gold, I can actually lose the game. So I need to take some precautions, and adding in the scouts and getting Town Watch is the play. At this point, I click his unit. Always click your opponent's units because you get to see upgrades and you get to see HP. That's a fresh scout. If you remember, his initial scout had some damage on it. So now I know he has a stable, and indeed I'm right. You can never heal scouts in Feudal Age, so that must be a new scout. So I knew he's gonna attack me with, stable units now, so I'm making a few skirmishers, and I once again add more scouts because I can't lose this area. If I lose the gold, I lose the game. Notice how I'm adapting throughout the game. Like, this is a constant adaptation for me. And the reason this is possible is because Vietnamese simply have a great economy and have all the options to react with. I have skirms with more HP, scouts with bloodlines, not missing out anything there. I've had a really good economy because I'm saving wood early. And as you can see, my resources are looking just healthier than Chris's right now. And I'm getting wheelbarrow now. I'm down a villager because I went for the Town Watch. So, his economy is in theory slightly smoother now, but I'm feeling more protected at home. And he had to invest a lot into walling with a lot of houses and stuff. So, it's not clear whose economy is completely better or not. And I see he's got 5 scouts now. I've got 5 scouts. I put the pressure on because I saw him retreat. But now I see that he actually has more than me because these are 5 full HP. I have some weak HP scouts. So I just have to just run back and prepare for castlage. Simple as that here. Run back and prepare for castlage. But Chris has other ideas. Chris is still adding in scouts. He probably wants to pressure me in Feudal Age. He sees the forward gold, and if I know one thing about Chris is that he's a very aggressive player when it comes to punishing maps. And he probably saw that forward gold and is like, you know what, I'm gonna pressure that, and I'm gonna send everything forward at once to try and force Hera off that gold. He sends 3 spearmen, 4 archers, and 7 scouts with bloodlines on the way. And at home, he's fully walling up as well, while adding a second range to place some crossbows and castlage. Me, on the other hand, I'm looking to go to castlage. And I'm making some archers now. I have 2 ranges. Notice I've transitioned from a few skirms to defend myself, and now playing archers, because archers is Vietnamese's best unit in castlage. I mean, skirmishers could be good as well, but playing skirmishers is not really you don't want that to be your main unit, unless your opponent is heavy into archers, which I'm not sure that Chris was. And in fact, right now he's not. He's playing more scouts. So I see the scouts right in. Ooh, sorry for hitting my mic there. I see the scouts come in. I do some nice walls there to trap those guys in, but he actually could have picked off a villain on the farm, so that was a little bit sloppy for me. Luckily, he didn't quite catch that. I was in time to quick wall on this side, though, so I just bring my army back, and his army's stronger. He's got bloodline scouts here. He picks off a villain and runs away. Takes very minimal damage here because I've only got a couple archers with these skirms. Oh, another play for me. I actually forgot about this one until now, and I actually trapped his scouts, well, forced them to go around. They take a bit more damage, but again, bloodlines for these scouts for him, so they're looking pretty good. But anyway, this is just micro battle, and this, micro battles really never renew games. Not in this stage where it's just scouts versus scouts. What's really gonna win me the game here is my castlage play. I'm fast up to castlage, in fact, by quite a mile. Over Chris here. He hasn't even clicked up yet, and I actually know this in game, and the reason I know this is because he went for bloodline scouts, and there's no way he can afford bloodline scouts, make more scouts than me, and get to castlage faster. So I know I must have a castlage advantage here, and so I want to make the most use of this. So right now I'm trying to gather up my archers and attack him. He's not giving me the time though. He keeps attacking me with these guys. So finally I muster up the courage. I'm gonna gather my archers and I go attack his base, look for damage on the gold, the wood, whatever I can really find here. But meanwhile, he's going to continue attacking me. Since he's fully walled at home, he wants to just send everything forward and keep me busy. So we're both playing pretty optimally right now in terms of strategy. So none of us is really making strategic mistakes. And I'm going to go ahead and attack. I think this is a strategic mistake, though. I should have left the skirms at home because of the possibility of him attacking me. But again, I kind of didn't think that he would attack me, so I just went with everything forward because I wanted to do some damage. I even got thumb ring, bodkin arrow, and a crossbow. And I'm thinking I want to do some damage with this faster castlage. But now Chris is going to come in with his archers and spearmen, and I can't counter that, simply. Like, this is stronger than my 2 crossbows, believe it or not. So I have to just run away, and at this point, I realize I made a mistake. I send my skirmishers back, and I've got 1 knight to help defend the scouts and a spear chasing. But I have to run my gold, and that's never a good thing. I'm going to get TC on the gold, by the way, down here. So at this point, I'm attacking with my crossbows, and you'll see me pick off a couple of villas here. By the way, fun fact, you actually need 8 crossbows, all hitting a villager to kill it, to deal 40 damage. So I have 9 here, so if I miss 1 shot but land the other 8, I always kill a villager. I have thumb rings, I have 100% accuracy, so as soon as I hit a villager with all of these guys, it's a guaranteed kill. Alright, so we'll keep an eye on that. But here on this side, I'm taking a pretty good fight here. Just kind of microing on the hill, keeping the scrims to attack the archers. This is just high level micro again. Your games will probably not get decided by this stuff, but it's nice to have it in my arsenal. I'm playing against great players, right? So I need to pull out these moves to win the games, and I take a really good trade there because I've got Castle Age unit and he still has Feudal Age unit. And again, I'm not giving him time to react. I'm in his face with crossbows. I'm forcing him to idle a lot of farms. He's also going out of the university, but he doesn't have the wood to even get ballistics here. I didn't know that. I thought he would have ballistics, so I was constantly trying to dodge ballistics even though it wasn't coming in. I have thumb ring, so I actually out micro him here, not because I'm better or anything, just because I have ballistics. Thumb ring, so I shoot faster and I have 100% accuracy. So look at this, he's just gonna get completely destroyed because I've got the tech advantage, and I even have more HP on the crossbows. And this is just Vietnamese being stronger than Mongols in the Castle Age. Mongols have no bonuses for the units at this point. Right, I've got I've got so many bonuses, and you see I got Bowsaw there. Again, that upgrade costing me no wood, so I'm able to use my wood on Thumb Ring instead. I'm getting a ton of reinforcements here. I've got like 2 TCs pumping constantly, and I'm just gonna get a huge lead here. As you can see, I'm up 4 vills. My micro is just simply easier because I've got the Thumb Ring tech, and it's just really smooth. Look at the micro. I mean, Thumb Ring just makes you super hard to deal with. He can't do anything. He needs to get ballistics first. If he doesn't get ballistics, he can never deal with this, and he just clicks it now. I thought he had ballistics at this point, I'm not going to lie. So I try to dodge it here in a second, you'll kind of see. But again, moving out with this army. The reason I'm moving out with this army now is because I see that he's chasing me. So I want to send another army to harass his forward, resources, basically. So that's something you have to keep in mind as well. Don't just micro one army. Also look for the next play. And as you can see, I'm trying to micro ballistics, and I end up just losing units for no reason. And I realized quickly that he doesn't have ballistics. When I realized he had no ballistics, he actually got ballistics at that moment. So it's kind of really awkward. So at this point, I'm like, okay, cool, he has no ballistics. Then ballistics kicks in. And I'm like, okay, now he has ballistics. And, well, I don't try to dodge it anymore, so that's unfortunate. But anyway, I get a great trade. But meanwhile, I don't care about that. I'm on the front. I kill a villager. I'm harassing him. And if you take a look at the villager count, I'm at 54. He's at 49. He's at 58 pop. I'm at 74 pop. So now the game is completely in my favor. I've got my 3 TC boom here, 1 on another wood line, 1 on a secondary gold. I say this all the time, guys. That's where you want to place your town centers in this game. In Castle Age, ideally, you could place it on a stone situationally, but usually secondary gold and another wood line is the way to go. So now my resources looks like 1 wood line here, 1 wood line here, and a wood line here. You need a lot of wood lines because they run out and they become inefficient. So the more you spread out, the more efficient you are. I'm still picking off his units. At this point, my next steps is like getting ballistics myself is a good step, and then working my way to stone could be a really good step. I'm doing both of those, in fact. And then picking up relics is another good step I can do. Tons of options. And as you can see, I'm not playing perfectly. I'm floating some gold, not ideal. I could be pressuring potentially more, but I'm pressuring pretty decently, actually. Attacking wood lines and attacking his gold with skirmishers. But again, the eco could be definitely balanced better. I pick up ballistics here. And he's actually going to drop is that second TC for him? Yeah, he's going to drop a second TC only now. So as you can see, he's down 15 villagers. He's defending all game. And we're just trading units, which is good for Vietnamese because I have more HP on my crossbows. So it's like, I'm literally doing better than him in every stage of the game here. Because of Vietnamese, it's what enables me to do what I'm doing here. I pick up some villages here. Again, the double pronged attacks is really good. I love doing those. It's so hard to defend, but he gets a nice trade here. Well, I still get a decent trade. I mean, I kill a few crossbows here. He has some pretty good micro. He's got ballistics. We both have, in fact, ballistics at this point. So we're just gonna trade off units here simply, and he gets a better trade probably. But I killed some villages on this side, so I'll still take it. And again, I've got the 8 crossbows here, constantly harassing him. I can add in more ranges. At this point, I need to spend my resources, so I'm floating quite a bit. 3-4 ranges added could be really good. You know, maybe even, I was gonna say make a market and get like a 4th town center could be a really good move as well. I have so many options, but again, working my way to Imperial Age is probably the best option I can go for now. So just like get like either a siege workshop on a hill or a monastery as my second building in Castle Age. I've got the university already. And then simply work my way to Imperial Age is a perfectly smooth way to continue playing this. And I continue moving out because, again, the more I trade, the better it is. Every time I see him want to fight, I'm like, let's fight. I've got more upgrades. I've got the +2 armor. I've got Thumb Ring. I don't know if he has that yet. And I have more HP. So every time we take a fight, even if I lose it, it's going to be a decent trade. Just I have way more stats than him. And I have way more villagers because I did a lot of early game damage. He loses the fight. And he calls the GG. I actually did respond GG, but the replay doesn't show it. That happens quite a bit. He had a nice counterattack with the knights here. I really respect that, but unfortunately, just too late. Vietnamese simply do this build order too well. You go scouts to defend the early game, then some skirmishes if you need, and then you go straight into your archers. Your eco at home feels so smooth. You get to do 3 TC. You get to afford your eco upgrades easily. You get to get handcart early if you wanted. I could have gotten it easily as well here. And then you can pump out a lot of archers, which is, again, in theory, we talked about it. It's the main unit, so going for a lot of archers in Castle Age makes sense. This game ended in Castle Age. However, if it were to continue on, I would say my options are going to be as follows. Get the Imperial Age as fast as possible by getting a siege workshop here or a monastery back here. And then click Imperial Age, add more ranges to go Arbalest, and then get a castle somewhere. So I would get a castle like either here for map control, or here to control a hill in the middle of the map can be really good. And for example, here would be perfect because then I can start trebbing him down right away. So that's how I would want to play the game if it continued. And then in the really late game, I would want to transition into like light cav, bombard cannon, and then maybe skirmisher, imperial skirmisher if I need. And then I might even consider going Rattan Archer because against Mongols, their main option is like Mangudai Hussar, and Rattan Archer is great versus both. Only dies to like Siege Onager pretty much, or Onagers. So that's the only danger for Rattan Archer. So if I can go to like Rattan Archer plus Light Cav late game, it's pretty unstoppable. But I would definitely open up Arbalest since I already have a lot of mass of them, and I already have 3 ranges. So I just go Arbalest, early Imp, and try to end the game there if Chris didn't resign at this moment. So great game here to showcase Vietnamese's strength. Well played, Chris. I don't think he played terribly, honestly. I just think that Vietnamese gained such an advantage over Mongols and Castle Age. I was able to snowball that really well by being in the right place at the right time with my crossbows. Also, his feudal pressure didn't really work out. So as you can see, in Castle Age, I just got a massive advantage, and I held that advantage. I just continued growing it slowly. All right, thank you guys for watching once again. If you guys made it to the end of the video, consider subscribing to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it. Obviously, just motivates me to make more videos like these. And once again, check out the sponsor link below the stream. I also have my Twitch link there if you guys want to check me out live on Twitch. So feel free to expand. This is now my full-time job again, starting this year, so I'm going to be really working on getting the content up there, and the more engagement from you guys, the better it is for YouTube algorithm and for me as a streamer to see the numbers increasing. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the content and just support in any way possible. It's much appreciated. I'll catch you guys in the next video though. Peace.